Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, all of our interviews and shows are on YouTube. But because of the subjects and the items that we need to talk about and broadcast, we will no longer be putting videos on YouTube. We are going to put the teasers on YouTube, and that is it. Because YouTube will shut us down like that. So, this is what we're going to do. We are talking, my business partner and my producers and I are talking, and we are going to be revamping the websites. Sun Sky Mysteries is going to not have the show on it anymore. The show is all going to be at SeleneETV.com in the future.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
From beautiful Selene in southeastern Michigan.
Around the world at SunSkyMysteries.com.
This is the 2009 Top 10 Webcam in the World winner. This is SETV.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Zam here. Welcome to a special live Friday night show. We had a guest, a Pastor William Shiflett, ready to go on tonight's show. However, we have not been able to get a hold of him. So, he may have forgotten about the show because we had it scheduled some time ago, or he may have actually watched one of our previous shows and wised up or something. But either way, he's not on the show tonight. We might go ahead and try to give him a call a little bit later, maybe take a break or something like that. But what the heck, we are going to go ahead and do a show a cappella by ourselves, because I'm sure that I can come up with something to talk about all on my own. And if not, we got some great music. That, of course, is Electric Hambone, and the name of that is called Aquaplane. We use all of our music that you hear on the show, all of the music that we broadcast during the shows, before the shows, or after the shows, or in between segments. All of this is open source music. If you go to what is the website, search.creativecommons, I believe it's .org, search.creativecommons.org. In fact, let's go ahead and pull the screen up, and let's see if we can go there. Let me type that in. There we go, searchcreativecommons.org. Now, when you go to the website, you see that over here, let me bring up the screen right here. You can see that right over here on the screen, you can, let me zoom in on that a little bit so you can see it better. You can do a search right here. I want to search for something I can use for commercial purposes or to build upon. And you can look for, you can search Google, you can search Spin Express, you can look for clip art, you can look for Photopedia, Flickr, Gemetico. That is where all of our music comes from. Gemetico. It's a great site. It's a great resource. So you guys should go there if you want to get some great open source music to use in your videos or anything else. All you got to do is give the guys some credit, and they're good to go. We have all kinds of great music in our library, thousands and thousands of songs from Jamaica, as well as a lot of the video clips that we use on the show. Now, you get up in the morning, okay? You're just like me. You're minding your own business, and you get up in the morning, and you spend some time getting dressed. Everybody does it. You get up in the morning. Well, not everybody. The people on the government dole, they don't. You get up, you get some, you spend some time getting dressed, and then you go to work. After you buy your $4 a gallon gas, which could be $9 a gallon by the time all of this is over, because the energy secretary has no idea how to stop any of this. Oh, we don't know. It might be $9 a gallon. He is, of course, on the record for saying that our gas prices should be as high as they are in Europe. Could you imagine how much stuff at your local Walmart's going to cost if they have to spend $9 a gallon on diesel fuel? You're not going to be able to afford jack crap. Anyways, you go and get your $4 a gallon gas. You know, and then you go to work. You go to work, and you work for 8 hours. You work for 8 damn hours, sometimes 10 or 12 hours, just to make ends meet. Because all of this stuff has gotten so expensive. It's gotten incredibly expensive. A year and a half ago, I was getting whole chickens for, what was it? I believe it was like 19 cents a pound. Chicken thighs, the family pack, the big family pack, because we love chicken thighs around here. It's great for stir fry and stuff like that. We love chicken thighs. It's great for barbecuing. I got a great barbecue sauce recipe, by the way. But I can't tell you about it because I'll tell you about that in a minute. 39 cents a pound for chicken thighs. On sale now, it's $1.99 a pound. You can't even afford to get any freaking chicken. And steaks are up, wow, I don't even want to talk about steaks. Those are like $12 a pound now, on sale. It's hemorrhoid-inducing crazy is what it is. So you work your tail off just to fund the government. Because let's face it, that's why you work, day to day, every day. You and me, we go to work. We get up, we go to work, we drive by all these houses with the cars still in the driveway because, well, they're not working. We go to work, we work our asses off every day. We come home tired and worn out, and about all we can do is make dinner and plop our fat butts down in a chair, and in my case, do a show like this, or in your case, you might turn on the television. At any rate, they take that money that you pay in taxes, that you go to work every day and work your ass off and buy your $4 a gallon gas so you can go to the grocery store and attempt to buy enough food to feed yourself. They take that money and they fund things like giving lab rats cocaine to see what happens. It's true. That's what they do. Big government study, like $9 million. They're spending on giving rats cocaine. Could you imagine cats on cocaine? And that's the kind of stuff that they do. But here's the thing. Most of these idiots aren't like you, and that's why you're going to send them to this show, so that they can come and watch this show, which is live at 7 p.m. Sometimes 6:30, sometimes 7:30. I don't know. It depends what I feel like. Depends on how tired I am after working 8, 9, 10 hours a day to make enough money so I can't pay my bills. 50% of the people, at least half of the people, they go home and they watch the Kardashians parade their big, fat butts around, or they sit down and watch American Idol or something as inane as that. 50% of them. And they don't know jack. They don't know anything. They just sitting there living their fat and happy lives, sucking up all of the crap and pap that's delivered into their various orifices by the mass media. They are, in fact, in a mental, idle Kardashian coma. And it's our job to wake those people up. That's your job, and that's my job. Wake up, you idiots. Wake the hell up. So, here's your first step. The other night, there was a video on the internet, on GBTV. It is, like this network, an internet-only television network. These guys are great. I wish I had their budget. But they had a documentary called Rumors of War 3. Oddly enough, they have also done Rumors of War 1 and Rumors of War 2. It's at gbtv.com. That's gbtv.com. Costs $9 a month for a membership, and you can watch all the shows and everything they got there. They got some great shows. Here's the thing. What it boils down to is this. We have Hezbollah in Mexico right now. They have Hezbollah training camps in the deserts of Mexico. Tomorrow night, we are going to have Alex Backman on the show right here, and we are going to hit this hot, heavy, and hard. We are going to back up what they said in this documentary. If you don't have the money to get a subscription to GBTV, send me an email. Use the contact us link at the top of all of our web pages, SeleneETV.com, SunSkyMysteries.com. Shoot me an email, and I'll find a way so that you can see this video. The guy that owns the network, he said everybody needs to see this in order to save this country. And here's what you have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself, why don't the mainstream politicians, these are the people in Washington, why don't the mainstream politicians at the federal, state, and local level, why are they not talking about this? Why? Why not? The Muslim Brotherhood, one of their guys in Texas, became a Department of Homeland Security executive, you could call him. He got top secret clearance, a Muslim Brotherhood member. He stole information about border patrols and border security on the Texas border and disappeared. They gave him top secret clearance. At the same time, we find out that in positions of power in Washington, D.C., in positions of freaking power in Washington, D.C., the Muslim Brotherhood is there in our government. It's bad enough that we have these Marxists now running the country, these 1960s radicals, Cloward and Piven, moving the Overton window as far to the left as they can. These communists, these Marxists, they run the country now because everybody wanted their hope and damn change, and now they got it. It's bad enough that those people are in Washington ruining the country, but now we find out that the Muslim Brotherhood is also in Washington, D.C. This documentary, Rumors of War 3, everybody needs to see it. If you don't have the money, if you don't have the $9 to spend for a subscription, I've had a subscription since they've been on the air, gbtv.com. If, for some reason, you just don't happen to like the guy that owns it and don't want to spend $9 a month, shoot me an email. Use the contact form at the websites, SunSkyMysteries.com, SeleneETV, SALINEETV. In fact, it's right here at the top of the screen. Hold on a second. I gotta Gotta, well, hold on. I'm over here. Right there at the top of the screen. There's the website address right there. Go there, contact us, become a member there, send me a friendship request, whatever you want to do. I'll find a way for you to be able to see this documentary. Now, here's something else. Right now, the President of the United States on his website is naming people that are donating to Romney, calling them out, a public blacklist. Like a dictator? No, not like one at all. I repeat, the President of the United States is putting out a blacklist of names, a hit list, if you will, of people that are donating to a political appointment. Let's look at the article. Because, of course, with our high technology, we have this article. I forget exactly where this came from. Oh, this came from the Wall Street Journal. This is Wall Street Journal online.wsj.com, and you'll find a link to it. Try this thought experiment. You decide to donate money to Mitt Romney. You want change in the Oval Office, so you can engage in your democratic right and send a check. So what you do is you go like this. You say, you know what, I don't like having a president that's a Marxist. So you go ahead and get out your checkbook and write out your check. Let me get my pen here. Now, Mitt Romney is not a communist. And you put the date on there and everything. And then you tear out your check and you send it to Mitt Romney. Okay? You're exercising your democratic freedom to donate to the candidate for the President of the United States of your choice. Maybe you're donating to Ron Paul. Well, if you do that, the Department of Homeland Security will be at your house going just like that, and you'll be hauled away because we can't have Ron Paul in there. Let's go back to the article. Several days later, President Barack Hussein Obama, the most powerful man on the planet, singles you out by name. His campaign brands you a Romney donor, shames you for betting against America, and accuses you of having a less than reputable record. The message from the man that controls the Justice Department, which can indict you, the SEC, which can fine you, and the IRS, which can audit you, is clear. You made a mistake donating that money. Are you worried? Are you awake yet? At all? Do you understand that at all? You got any idea what's going on there? People, back when I was a teenager, before I was a teenager, about the time I became a teenager, around 12 or 13 years old, we had a fella. He was President of the United States. He was a Republican, you see, and everybody in the media hated him. They wanted to get him out of office. Get out. We don't like you. Hold on one moment. His name, of course, was Richard Nixon, as in, I am not a crook. Richard Milhouse Nixon. He had a blacklist. That president, if you recall, was forced to resign from all of the little issues that he had with break-ins, Watergate, things like that. And now, well, hell, we're about 1,000 times over that particular little adventure currently, and yet nobody is doing a damn thing. Although, let's go back to the screen here and take a look at the next article. The Republicans are preparing a contempt citation against Eric Holder over fast and furious. This comes to us from CBS News. The House Republicans investigating the Fast and Furious scandal plan to pursue a contempt citation against Attorney General Eric Holder. The resolution will accuse Holder and his Justice Department of obstructing the congressional probe into allegations that the government let thousands of weapons fall into the hands of Mexican drug cartels. And don't forget, that's where Hezbollah has their training camps down there in Mexico, in the desert down there in Mexico, where Fast and Furious sent all the guns. You know, it would not be a good thing if the Hezbollah guys, they got a hold of the guns and decided to bring them back personally to have a few words with some Americans and behead them and things like that. It's another thing that Alex Backman and I are going to be talking about tomorrow night. Now, let's talk about something else. And I have a video. Hopefully, this is going to work, because in the grand scheme, in a perfect world, yeah, it's an inside joke with a friend of mine. He's always doing it. In a perfect world, and then he hands me this mess to deal with. In a perfect world, this is going to come off flawlessly, because I have to synchronize the audio side with the video side in order to be able to play this clip. It is a 12-minute clip. Now, here's the thing. The United States government is going after a private citizen, bringing the full force of the United States of America government against a private citizen who has done nothing more than speak his mind. I, of course, am speaking of none other than our good friend on the show here, Mr. Ted Nugent. In the past few weeks, he has been hassled in Alaska over a law that nobody has even heard of, even the judge. The judge has never heard this law. Apparently, the only place where this law is effective is where Ted Nugent happens to be. Well, he's on a 2-year probation and a $100,000 fine. He has been hassled in California about a hunt that he was on. He has been hassled at his home, and as an aside, there is a story out there that is true, because I have heard the audio from the interview. A Republican congressperson is getting strip-searched at every airport when he flies during his duties. Is that a dictatorship? No, that's not like a dictatorship at all. And we have lists of donors of your political opponent that are now a public blacklist that are getting called out. Let's see if we can bring up the Ted Nugent video, and let's see if I can synchronize this thing at all. There we go. There is the video on the screen. Let me go. Yep, there you go. Now, let me see if I can synchronize this up between the audio and the video side. I don't know if this is going to work at all. In fact, you know what we're going to do? Okay, we are going to go like this. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to play it on both computers, and we're going to see how this works out. Here we go.
Hippie rock and roll music.
Rock icon, best-selling author Ted Nugent.
Hey, it works.
He's with us now from Los Angeles, where last week you had to meet with the Secret Service. Who is it this week, Ted?
Well, I'm out running the crucifiers right now, Glenn, but I want to wish a happy, joyous Independence Day to my blood brothers in Israel, and a happy Independence Day to you and America every day. No, I'm out here rocking and rolling, taking care of business, get up early every day, and I go to work. I seek not to disrupt society. I seek to spread the truth, live the American dream of being the best that I can be. And just by doing the right thing, it upsets maniacs everywhere. I couldn't be more proud.
You were... I want to talk a little bit about something, Ted, that you were I don't think I would have had the control that you have had for the last, almost 2 years now. You went up to Alaska. You were hunting black bear. There is a law just in this little piece of Alaska. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It is basically, if you are fishing and you get a strike, but you lose the fish, it doesn't matter. That counts as one fish. You were hunting for your TV show. You were hunting with bow and arrow. What happened?
Well, I do it every year. I've been hunting in Alaska since 1977, been hunting all my 63 years. I take my children and I take wounded warriors and I take terminally ill children on various hunts around the country. And because I am the top spokesman in the world, I'm not bragging, it just ended up in my lap because nobody else was doing it, to promote conservation and ethical, lawful hunting and Second Amendment rights. I have been really demonized and attacked with just vicious hate throughout my career and my life. And I take it as a badge of honor, because if you're not really upsetting idiots, you might be an idiot. So I conduct myself the way my parents raised me. I diligently examine all the laws, and I know all the laws, I thought. But there was an obscure, unprecedented new law in Alaska that said if your arrow or bullet comes in contact with the animal, even in a non-lethal hit, a non-injuring hit, that your tag is no good, which means you don't have a valid tag to use on the animal you eventually kill. Well, no one in camp, no one in town, no one in Craig, no one in Ketchikan, and just the other day in court, the judge who lives there, a hunting judge, lifetime resident of Canada, in the region where the law exists, only where this law exists, the judge admitted on the court records he's never heard of this law. So was I blindsided and did I break the law? Yes, I had no intention. In fact, I showed it for 50 million people on Spirit of the Wild TV and Outdoor Channel,
so
clearly proving there was no intent.
Right. If you were going to break the law, why would you put it on TV? I mean, that
good
doesn't make any sense.
Question, Glenn.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Now let's get down to it, because it's so much more than this little guy in Alaska. They were threatening you with a felony and threatening you with prison time.
Yeah, based on the illegally killing of a black bear on these federal islands. Again, this is the only area where this law has ever existed in the history of wildlife management. The feds came after me. The state of Alaska did not come after me, but the federal U.S. Attorney's Office did come after me, and they indicated that I could spend a year in prison and pay a $100,000 fine for potential felony Lacey Act violations, illegally taking an illegal killed animal across, I thought it was across state lines or international lines, but it also seems to be that if you bring that illegally caught fish or illegally taken animal from the federal property back to state property. Again, this is all convoluted. I had all the licenses, the tags. I registered my bait. I made sure that everything was legal. The boat was legal. My bow was legal. My kids were legal. Everybody in camp was legal. But there's this obscure, bizarre law that no one ever heard of, including the judge, including guides and outfitters and Alaska residents, that I mistakenly broke. So I admitted to my guilt, but they were pressuring me. Year in jail was the maximum, $100,000 fine, and a felony conviction, which means no guns for Ted Nugent, no hunting for Ted Nugent, no voting for Ted Nugent, and maybe an indicator to America that if you brush against our voice in the U.S. government, you better learn to shut up, because we can shut Ted Nugent up about his guns and his hunting, so you better just be nice and obedient.
Okay, real quick, because I want to get to the pigs here in a minute, but I want to go to the California deer hunt. Can you tell that in a short? Because I think this is important. It just shows the constant pressure on you to shut up.
It has been really constant, I got to tell you. Boy, it's heartbreaking. I go to California and hunt. I go everywhere. I meet with the game department, Glenn. I get all the licenses, all the tags, examine the region to be 100% legal. I killed a deer. We put it on Spirit of the Wild. Somebody claimed it was an illegal deer and that there was bait on the ground when I was hunting over acorns in an apple orchard. There was no bait. We used no bait. 36 federal and state agents, pre-dawn, guns-drawn raid on my three friends who have never been arrested for anything in their life, the greatest families ever, kicking down doors, confiscating everything out of their homes, guns and bows and pictures and antlers and food out of the freezer. And one agent, John Laughlin of the California Fish and Game, literally sneered at my friend Mitch Moore as he reached in and grabbed a pair of brass knuckles from a room not on the search warrant, a search warrant he got by lying to the judge that he knew Mitch Moore because he'd never met him before in his life. I don't believe these guys aren't being prosecuted. And he held up the brass knuckles and said to my gun-collecting, gunsmith, big-game hunting Fred, help us get Nugent, and these felony brass knuckles will go away. Make your own conclusion on that.
Now let's go to the pigs in Michigan.
So the pigs that I have are the wrong color. Let me be perfectly clear.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to come back on camera because, as you all know, I am in fact in Michigan. I have seen and heard all 12 sides of the pig argument. And it is, in fact, a foobar situation, because what the state of Michigan has done, and now that I know about this, I believe that they are targeting Mr. Nugent. It wasn't about any of the other farmers in Michigan. There is a breed of pig that farmers raise here in Michigan, quite legally up till recently, for consumption. Apparently, they eat pork here in Michigan. Most people do anyways. And the state of Michigan decided that if one of these pigs was able to escape, they would become feral and they would start causing ruinous behavior on the poor, innocent citizens of the state of Michigan. I believe most people here in the state of Michigan would, when they see a pig like this in their yard running around chasing their dogs and cats and everything else, would probably pull out the 12 gauge and put the pig out of its misery, call all of their friends, and have a nice pig roast that weekend. That's more than likely what would happen. However, the state of Michigan, in all of their lack of wisdom, decided that no. Here's what you got to do. You got to take every pig you own and kill them. There were farmers in tears. They were killing baby pigs. They were killing the mothers. They were killing them while the babies were suckling on their mothers. And you think about that. That's what's going on here in the state of Michigan. So let's get back to this interview, and I am going to attempt to sync the sound back up because one shut off and the other didn't. So I am going to see if I can bring this back up and get it synchronized up. Hold on. I have to go to 628. Hold on one second. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sync the videos up, and we are going to listen to the rest of this. Remember, this is happening here in the state of Michigan. Ted has his ranch and everything in Texas, but he also owns farm here in Michigan. While you're listening to this, keep in mind that Ted Nugent is a Lake County sheriff as well. Okay? You remember when we had a sheriff on the show? They're going after the county sheriffs in the United States as well. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
I have a lever-action rifle.
There we go.
You shoot it by cocking the lever. The feds or the government comes in and says, I'm sorry, that is now a machine gun. I go, but it's not a machine gun, it's a lever action. Well, last night we decided lever actions were machine guns. Last night we decided that pigs in your pen were mysteriously feral. Everybody knows that feral animals are domestic animals that have escaped from the pen. If they're in the pen, they can't be feral. The invasive species order in Michigan is fraudulent, criminal, and against the U.S. Constitution. And family farmers are having to destroy their livestock based on the fraudulent misuse of the English language that the government of Michigan and the DNR officers, armed officers, are enforcing a fraudulent order. God help us all. I had to go in and slaughter my livestock, kill the pigs because they met some strange lie description that they were feral. Well, if they were feral, what were they doing in my pen? I'm telling you, Glenn, this is unbelievable. Now my oryx in Texas, that because we can hunt them and value the surplus harvest every year, are thriving. And the federal agent from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service chuckled at me today and said you're going to need permits to touch your own private animals and continue with the system by which these animals have flourished. I'm telling you, it wouldn't qualify as Planet of the Apes. These people are out of control. We need a few good men that will blow the whistle. That's what I'm doing, and that's what you're doing, and a lot of Americans are standing up because these are critical and dangerous times. That's what I meant at the NRA.
Tell me, I know that, Ted, and that's why I was so pissed. Now, hopefully the viewers will know why I was so pissed last week when they were meeting with you, and I did this monologue, and I was really angry. And I was angry, and I couldn't tell these stories. You've asked me to be quiet, about these stories and not say anything. And I've watched one of the most honorable men I know, a guy who is absolutely friends with absolutely every military guy I've ever seen, friends with every kind of marshal and sheriff and law enforcement official, absolutely an environmentalist best friend. And they're crucifying this guy. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say that they're actually but that's the only thing they haven't done. One more thing, sir. Tell me about the animal that has 3 legs that is on your farm.
Well, I'm a steward of wildlife resources. My wildlife property thrives with biodiversity and thriving populations of wildlife and cool bugs and butterflies and vegetation. I am the czar of flora and fauna. You know it. I plant trees every year because I train my children and taught my children that as consumers we should put more back into the earth than we take. So we bought a bunch of scimitar-horned oryx that have been breeding and reproducing every year. We sell off the older bulls to generate revenues and family hours of recreation, licenses, guides, permit, hotels, food, lodging, gas, taxidermy, ice, butchers. Are you kidding me? I got this one-man army of job creation. And now, out of nowhere, a judge has sided with an animal rights maniac, putting to end the system by which the oryx have now become thriving and populated, and they're absolutely stable and growing. And now we're implementing a system based on this federal U.S. Fish and Wildlife. The judge made it happen, but U.S. Fish and Wildlife is enforcing it. I have a crippled 3-legged calf that was born about 12 days ago. It's crippled, it's injured, it's in pain and suffering. A good, honest, conscientious person would put it out of its misery. If I were to do the right thing, I would be committing a felony, Glenn. And this U.S. Fish and Wildlife officer laughs at me today and says it's a good system. This is unbelievable.
You know what? This is the same group of people. Next Friday, we're doing a special on people here in America from the left that are actually saying that crippled children should be put down. Crippled children should be put down. You're not going to believe this show. You are not going to believe this. Yeah. So they're saying that about crippled children, that we should kill crippled children. But a crippled calf? No. No, this is insane. Ted, I said this to you. I think I've said this to you for the last year or so, and I mean it more and more every day. With firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. I will stand by your side all the way. All the way.
Thank you, Glenn. And let me tell you, if some of the agents are getting angry at me for what I'm saying, that would be guilt. Because if you know the right thing, how dare you not blow the whistle like those of the ATF
They
on Fast
can't.
and Furious?
They're not.
That's your job.
Do you know why? You know why they're not blowing the whistle, Ted?
They're afraid of losing their jobs.
No, they're not. No, they're not. This president is employing the Espionage Act, and anyone who blows the whistle, they're facing 30 years in jail. That's why.
Right. You're correct about that.
That's
yes,
why.
You're
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is two things for you. One, we've finally gotten Ted Nugent on the show. And number two, that man that you just heard there, the one that just said about our time and treasure and everything else, one of the strongest Christians I know. I am now getting attacked by people that I had thought were Christians about relaying information that Glenn sends me. He sends everybody. It's in his newsletter. And information about that documentary that I was talking about earlier, Rumors of War 3. I am getting attacked by people that I thought were Christians that tell me that that man that you just saw on that screen right there, a man that I have prayed with, they are telling me that he is a disinformationalist and I shouldn't listen to him, while giving me virtually no reason for that. And that, in a word, upsets me more than anything else. And that's why tomorrow night we are going to have Alex Backman on the show. And we are going to talk for as long as it takes. I don't care if it takes 12 hours on the air. It may be a marathon. You need to tune in tomorrow night. Tell your ma, tell your pa, tell your enemies, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your sisters, tell your brothers. Tune in to Surrounded by Idiots tomorrow night, because we are going to blow the lid off of a lot of things. And, well, I am going to become a target. That is why I am reached a few decisions. Hold on one moment. I have to do something very quickly. I have to click this